How would you feel about going into business with your sister? Well, stay tuned. So I let you have that pregnant pause just to think about it a little bit. Being in business with family members can be a really unique dynamic. Can we say it that way delicately? And not everybody would want to do it, but somebody does. And somebody has done it very successfully. I'm going to interview the Lavender Sisters and talk about their business. Actually, their fairly new business and what happened to them during the pandemic, how they pivoted, how they're working it out day to day as sisters who probably had pillow fights, fought over who was over the line in the back seat, and now are running a business together. I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to Fitness Marketing Mastery, where I share marketing and sales strategies that are easy, enjoyable, and even fun so that you can create a business and the life that you love without sleazy, salesy, pushy means. And today, we're just talking to two, ideally, business owners who are co-owners of a nutrition and a fitness business. And if they can do it, you can too. And listen, they've done it in a very big way. Listen to this delightful conversation with Jocelyn Gaddy. Let's dive in. My guest today, though it would be plural in this instant that we're in of pivoting yet again, is Jocelyn Gaddy. So we're here, though, really interviewing and talking about the Lavender Sisters business. And they are sisters, best friends, coaches, and most importantly, moms. Both Ashley and Jocelyn are NASM certified personal trainers and certified nutrition coaches, also holding a BS in health and fitness management. The Lavender Sisters, how lovely is that for a name? It created TLL Fit to help busy moms step into their power and become who they were always meant to be, inside and out. Jocelyn, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure.
So here we are, and on Fitness Marketing Mastery, we often are giving advice on how to market, how to sell. And yet, this is really a peek behind the scenes of a business. And I love this. So, ordinarily, I would ask, how long have you been in business and what's the story behind your business? And you and I talked literally in the green room before we started recording about that. So I can't wait to unpack this. And then there's another layer here. So it's not just about how you pivoted during pandemic, but it's also, I think, acknowledging a partnership among family members and how that dynamic works for you, how it might work against you, depending on who's listening. You know what I mean. But we'd love to unpack that too. So we're going to get to all of it. So first of all, thanks for being here. And we are so sad that Ashley couldn't get the technology gods to work in her favor today, but we will promise to have them both back because theirs is a really interesting story and journey. And I think if you're listening within earshot, you're going to gain something from what they've done. So first of all, I'd love to know why this. You know, in the statement that you could have been a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, why this business? What's the story behind the Lavender Sisters?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's the $1,000,000 question, Deborah. So first of all, Ashley and I pinch ourselves daily that we get to work with so many amazing women and help them find that best version of themselves. As I was mentioning earlier, so how did we evolve the lavender lifestyle? Ashley and I both started out on different paths. You talked about our background and our education, but out of college, Ashley went on to become a nurse and I joined corporate America. But we had that true passion for health and fitness. And after both Ashley and I had our third babies, interesting story. So we are sisters. We are 15 months apart. We couldn't be any more opposite, but opposites attract, right? So we ended up having our third third babies, we were due on the same day. And all of our friends, family said, wow, that's interesting. You guys planned that. No, 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 no. We don't plan things like that. We're just sisters and we do so much alike. So after having our third baby, so we ended up having them actually 12 days apart. We were there at my sister's house, and we said, wow, look where we are, look where we've come. It really wasn't what we envisioned. 3 kids later, exhausted, just trying to survive. And so we decided at that point to start an Instagram account. And we did that to hold ourselves accountable and show up daily, motivate each other, and just be accountable for our actions and trying to find that best version of ourselves as we were navigating life with 3 kids. Ashley at that point was a stay-at-home mom. I was in corporate America. And we came from 2 different angles, and we were determined to find that best versions of ourselves while still managing life. So we started this process, and through it, in our Instagram diary, I guess you would call it, people started coming to us and saying, how are you managing this? How are you doing this? How is this working? How do you make it all happen? And so we were beginning to influence and help women and build confidence. And Ashley came to me and said, hey, this is a perfect opportunity to create something where we can help more women. And there you have it. We launched our business and started this opportunity to train women all across the country. And we've talked to women in other parts of the world as well. And it's just been amazing, and it's been a blessing.
And I love that. And so I know the answer to this question, but there's something to being an interviewer and never asking a question you don't know the answer to. So, how old is your business?
Interesting you should ask. So we launched our blog in 2018, November of 2018. And then we launched our business, TLL Fit, a division of the Lavender Lifestyle, in 2020, literally right at the beginning, just before the pandemic.
Sweet. I love it. So, talk a little bit about your blog. What was the mission or the purpose in that, if you had one, when you first started?
Yeah, so to educate our followers, like I mentioned, we were getting so many questions, and people just wanted to know more. And instead of going through our DMs on Instagram, right, and saying the same thing over and over again, we wanted to share that with the masses. So we wanted to direct these women that, wanted to begin changing their lifestyle and changing their ways to finding that better version. Provide them information on nutrition, provide them information on exercise, provide them information on that mindset piece with getting your mind focused and excited and determined that you can reach your health and fitness goals, but you got to put that time, you got to put that effort in. And we wanted it to be simple and easy, right? Not complicated, not a whole lot. So just blog posts that focused around all the different aspects that help you find that best version of you.
Love it. Okay. So, there are a lot of potential trainers listening who have a bachelor's degree in health and fitness management or physiology, kinesiology, who are also certified and who have a nutrition background. What is it that sets you apart?
Yeah, so I think it's a couple of things. First of all, um, it's simple, right? We don't want to overcomplicate it. It's small changes over time give you long-term success. And so that's the biggest thing that we want to instill in our clients or our potential clients is that it's not an overnight fix. And it does take time, but it's small changes that you can build on because our true focus is long-term sustainability. It's not diet culture. It's not restriction. It's no food, no things are off limit. We can still find that best version of ourselves by focusing on small changes over time. Also, when it comes to our fitness component, we are motivating and encouraging virtually. We've done a really, really good job of ways that we check in with our clients, that we touch base with our clients. We hold them accountable from a distance. And our all of our program design can be done anywhere. It can be done in a gym. It can be done in a basement. It can be done in a park. It can be done with your kids around you. So we want to make it as simple and easy as possible that if you choose to show up for yourself, you can be successful doing it.
Love it. Love it. And really love the breakdown, and not so much an extreme, but something that's really doable in bite-sized pieces for someone who may be already overwhelmed in her life. So what have been, as sisters, I want to ask about that dynamic, but I'm going to ask a broader question. What have been, you're relatively an infant, right, in business terms, what have been the biggest learning moments? So there are a lot of fall downs by babies when they're learning to walk. What's been that for you?
Oh, there's a couple of answers to that one. That's a great question. So first of all, don't doubt yourself and be confident in every move that you make. Regardless of the situation and what happens, we are learning and we are pivoting, and we are, just like with our clients, finding that best version of themselves. We're doing the same thing in our business as we grow and as we learn. Now, with that being said, communication is key. And I said this at the beginning, Ashley and I are complete opposites, but my strong suits are her weaknesses and her strong suits are my weaknesses. So knowing that we together as a business are not always going to see eye to eye, but as long as we're communicating, we're going to find the best solutions that serve our clients, that at the end of the day, help our business continue to grow and perform.
Love that answer. And what I'm really going to pick out for listeners, especially, is that it's best for our clients. It's, comes back to our clients and our customers. And I think sometimes when a want to be health coach or a new fitness coach want to go into business, often we can really easily fall into the trap of thinking about what I want, how I want to deliver it, and sometimes go wrong, whether that's you doing it solo or you're doing it with a partner. And they've both got pros and cons. So who's the tiebreaker, Jocelyn? When you're duking it out.
Our mom.
Because I said so.
I say that loosely. We come from a strong family background. My dad and my brother are in business together. But seriously, we go to our mom because Ashley and I don't always see eye to eye. And so we do need that tiebreaker, that level sets us for, and it comes back to who is our ideal client, and who and what are we serving, and how are our decisions going to move us forward in that area. So Ashley and I haven't always seen eye to eye, and you have those growing pains, right, with a new business, and as you grow faster than you expect, and how you pivot and adjust. But I think, I jokingly say our mom, we go to her, but we do. But at the end of the day, Ashley and I have such a strong relationship, and we trust each other that we have the best interest of the business in place, and also mad respect for one another, that we always come to an agreement. And it just works. Luckily, it just works.
Yeah, I love that answer. Okay, so um, there's delegation in any business, whether it's you, listener, maybe at the beginning. An entrepreneur wears all the hats, and sometimes an entrepreneur takes back some of the hats. So I know I did early in the pandemic. None of us knew where things were going to go, and even as an online business, 100% for 7 years, pivoted, perfectly positioned for the moment it was in. People were still very reserved about spending money, not knowing what their future was like. So everybody's got to wear more hats than they need to. But when you do delegate, you've got to know where you're going. How do the two of you split things up? Who's in charge of what?
Yeah, it really fell into place so organically, and we're very lucky for that because, like I mentioned, we are so different. So Ashley is a task manager, so she has a list every day, and she knows the things that she has to accomplish. And the day-to-day organization of the business, she is really, really good at. She has the ideas, and she has that entrepreneurial spirit, but she is, I guess, a little safer when it comes to the day-to-day things, right? So she is just automatically she takes that on. I call her, she's the CEO of the company. She is in the operation side. She gets it, she keeps it organized, and she keeps it running. Me, on the other hand, I'm a little all over the place. Love an idea and I want to run hard with it. And I don't care the logistics, but I know it's going to work and we're going to make it happen. And I come from a sales background. When I talk about corporate America, I spent 15 years in business development. So I'm all about the relationships. I'm all about the interaction and understanding someone's pain points and wanting to solve that solution and provide that solution to them. So it just worked out so nicely that she really kept a good and still does organization on the day to day and the employees that work for us. And then I get to be the one that interacts with those that want to join our challenges, that want to join our one-to-one training. I get to have those conversations and help them understand what all is involved and why they need to choose us as their trainer and provide that one-to-one accountability. So I guess just the difference in our personalities allowed us to truly show up each day to do what we enjoy and what we're good at.
Fantastic. Love that answer too. Okay, so you're already alluding to this, so I really want to unpack this. And here you are, just maybe a year old, right? Celebrating your first anniversary. And you're already talking about your kind of staff and other people that you hire. So dig into that a little bit. How many people do you have working for TLL Fit?
Sure. Yep, we have two assistant trainers. So there's Ashley and myself. We have two assistant trainers, and then we have three employees that work behind the scenes. A marketing specialist. We have a DM outreach specialist who handles all of the interactions on Instagram and having conversations with women, bringing them to us to create those opportunities, and then a sales consult specialist who tees up those opportunities, has quick conversations with the women interested in moving forward with our one-to-one programming. Um, so she gets them prepared for what's to come and what to expect going into a call with myself to learn more.
Great. So who does the interviewing? So and what was that like for the two of you to decide, okay, rapidly we need to expand? Or was it obvious at first that what it was exactly that you need to do? Because when you're an entrepreneur, if you're listening, this is one of the hardest things to do is like, who do I hire first? What's the first hire and what will be the second hire? And so on. So what was that like for you, Jocelyn?
Sure. So we knew as our business continued to grow and Ash and I were doing the coaching, we knew it was time to start finding a coach. That was the first step, was finding a coach. And so
You
we
mean
actually
sorry to interrupt, but you
sure.
mean a coach for you or a coach, a business coach?
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up. I apologize. So we actually did hire a business coach from the beginning of our launch of our program. When we were doing our blogging, um, we had created a program and we just weren't reaching the masses, the women that we wanted to reach. We weren't touching enough people. So we did say, you know what? We need a business coach. And Ashley had been wanting a business coach for quite some time. And I just felt, we're entrepreneurs. We can do this on our own. We don't need someone to coach us. And so Ashley found a female and asked me to have a conversation with her. We did. She was fantastic. And I knew instantly that this lady would help boost our business. So we hired a coach and launched our business. And a big piece of that was scalability, right? So when it was time to start hiring, when we knew we would need a new coach, and when Ashley and I were maxed training our clients, we knew it was time to start looking for a new coach. And that was a scary piece, right? Because now we're managing employees. We are responsible for their livelihood and creating business opportunities for them to grow and to get paid. But it just evolved so naturally. We had a mom go through our program, a registered nurse, a nurse practitioner. And she had all of the skills, all of the qualities that I knew we needed in our next trainer. And from there, after that, we knew it was time because we were growing so rapidly and there were so many tasks to be done that Ashley wasn't able to keep up with on a daily basis. So, with the guidance of our business coach, and I guess let me clarify. So, when you hire a business coach, and I think the biggest thing that we loved with our coach was the systems that were in place. Um, Good quality systems that you can incorporate for your business, your niche market, and where you're trying to go makes life so much easier and allows us to sell our product that much quicker, faster, and more. So when Ashley's time was, she was maxed, we knew it was time to bring on those two employees. Our marketing specialist, she had been with us from the very beginning and has been a part of it since.
Fantastic. So, question that listeners who are brand new may not know to ask yet is, did you, with each and every one of these, did you hire employees or are you using contractors, and has that changed?
Oh, that's a great question. So yes, they are 1099 contractors,
Mhm.
which just really makes it simpler on our end.
Mhm.
And just communicating upfront what that looks like when we hire them on as a 1099 contractor, ensuring they're comfortable with that process.
Great. And just for listeners, so I also think it's important that you want to think about these positions, but inevitably, because there's a behind the scenes, if there's a website, there's probably a tech chief officer. There's also probably the need for a lawyer. So, in those NDA agreements with your contractors and your refund policies and your terms of service and all of those little pieces. So, there's always going to be a lawyer. And at some point, with the success that you have or expect and project, there's got to be a bookkeeper, some kind of accountant, and a tax strategist are all things that you want to consider, even if you don't right away. Not to overwhelm, but those should all be somewhere on your list as you're creating a business. So let's talk about, what you project. So you're a year into it, you've had phenomenal growth, clearly, and you've really fleshed out your business very well. What do you see for yourself in, say, another year, 2 years?
And I'm smiling right now, and I have to back up though, because here's where I need my CEO, my sister Ashley, to break down all of those things that you just stated. The lawyers that we had to hire
Mhm.
to build our contracts and to protect the insurance we had to purchase to protect our business, and the accountants that we actually just hired 4 months ago because we were having great months each month, not knowing what to do and how to handle, and all of those things. So I apologize, I slid right over that, Deborah. Ashley would have
No,
jumped
it's so
right in on it.
yep, and perfect, and you would have perfectly complemented each other. Yep.
Exactly. And I already forgot the question you asked me. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, just looking at, you've had tremendous growth, and whether or not you saw the need, which I love, because it comes back to, there are people asking, there's demand for this, and you're like all about your customers from the beginning. But what's next? I mean, what would you project at this point? Looking back, you've got a year to do some analysis of the data and your growth and trajectory. What do you want for yourself and your business in a year or two or three?
Yeah. So a couple of different things. First of all, we are Ashley and I have a saying, a mantra, if you will. If you're not growing, you're dying. So we're always looking at ways to continue to grow, to touch more women and to help them find that best version of themselves. And we're listening to our ideal clients and what they want. And an app is a huge request. It's asked constantly. So we're in the process of developing our own app, and a platform where we can provide memberships for our clients. Right now, with our one-to-one training, it's usually a 12-week, sometimes a 24, maybe a 36-week time period with us. But we want to be able to have the reoccurring customer that has a monthly subscription to our app. So that's one avenue. We're hoping to have that launched by the beginning of 2022, which will be super exciting for us. But also, we want a business that will run on its own. So Ashley and I want to be able to be the face and build the content for our business, but we want to have trainers that run it, that are trusted and reliable, and then the staff doing the behind the scenes to keep it running on a daily basis. Ashley traveled to St. Martin just a couple of weeks ago for her husband's 40th birthday. And she came back, and the one thing she reflected on is she said, "Do you know how cool it was to be gone for 9 days, see what's going on in the business, but know we have the right people in place to do the job, that I didn't have to jump in, that it was running itself, so that we can, just continue to improve our processes and hire the right people to allow it to run itself while it's still continuing to grow."
Love that. Okay, I want you to speak to one thing right here. So that is a dream. And yet, for a lot of entrepreneurs who are getting started and thinking, well, I need it. This is my livelihood. So I need, X amount of money in order for my overhead because this is what I live on. This is my bread and butter. And there's no second income coming in. So being at the point where there's the ability to hire people who do keep it going versus I need to wear all these hats so that the profit falls down to me, especially for a lot starting out who are LLC, meaning it's you are the business. Um, Speak into that just a little bit. So
Yeah,
your profit margin and the fear potentially of turning that over to other people, and is it the right time, and is it too soon, or where am I with that?
sure. I think that was my biggest fear going into it. And, just as you said, being an entrepreneur, you feel for so long you have to do it all in order to truly make it profitable. And one thing I've realized with hiring our business coach is trying to do it all. You completely exhaust yourself. You wear yourself down. You're not showing up as that best version. And then what more can you continue to pour into the company? So letting go of responsibilities and paying someone to do it, I had a lot of anxiety and a lot of angst about it. Fortunately, in this business, there's not a lot of overhead. And if you're smart with your systems, and that's the fantastic thing about hiring our business coach, is all of the resources to make our business run. She had those, and we were able to understand our costs associated, and then what our profit margins were and how we could hire accordingly to maintain those profit margins while still bringing staff on. And it's not perfect. And Ashley and I just had a conversation yesterday, as we were building an ambassador program, women that have been through our program that love us and love the concept and want to promote it and are are passionate about what we do, bringing ambassadors on, there's an additional fee that we're paying commissions to our ambassadors. So now that we have this ambassador program, what does that look like to our true costs associated to ensure we're still making a good margin and we're profitable at the end of the day?
Great illustration. I love that story. And, huge growth again. So I can't say enough about just tons of applause for the growth that you've had. And I have to believe that it's come from you being in the right space, really thinking about, you are your target market. So you've got some empathy and ability to put yourself in her shoes anyway from the very beginning, and then constantly making decisions that benefit that need, the reason they come to you specifically, and staying in line with it. Okay, so I'm going to come back with the biggest question. So this is like the biggest bomb, but
Oh
such a
no.
broad one. What would you say have been your biggest learning moments? I mean, what it's been like, you know, being in business, that you feel listeners who are either maybe not yet entrepreneurs, but maybe really dying to break out, or who have had to break out because business that they worked for closed.
Yeah. So this is a great question. I think not setting time aside for goals and strategy. You can get so busy in the day to day that you forget about what your goals and your strategies are. And going back to that, if you're not growing, you're dying, right? So if we're doing the day to day continuous over and over again and not creating new strategy or new goals for growth, are ideal clients going to still be engaged, and are they still going to want to be a part of what we're doing? Um, and it's so easy for Ash and I to make excuses. We're busy moms. We have 4 kids. We have these children that are now involved in all of these activities. And it's like, where is the time? There's not enough time in the day. Um, but when Ash and I, we schedule ourselves once a week to talk strategy and how we're going to continue to grow. And then it's those strategy sessions that turn into implementation. And then we learn along the way. Sometimes it's good strategy, sometimes it's not. And we have to quickly pivot and pick it up and go from there.
I love it. Love it. Okay. That was my lengthy last question. This is just a chance for you to say really anything. Is there a question that I should have asked you?
Oh, wow. Is there a question you should have asked me? Um, yes. How much do I love my job?
Mm, great. Okay, answer. I'm sorry. You have to give me the answer too.
It's amazing. I mean, I am so Ashley and I are so lucky that we get to do what we get to do. It's not just building the business, right? But it's actually engaging, interacting with these women. We've hired a team. We have coaches that primarily do the coaching now, but we get to pop in and we get to have conversations with these women, and we get to hear how impactful their trainer has been and how it's changed their life, and the yo-yo dieting and the diet culture is no longer there, and they can have ice cream with their kids, and they can enjoy cookies or cake at a holiday. And that's the amazing part, is that we are selling something that changes lives, and we are so lucky that we get to call this a job.
Such a great answer. And this was so much fun. And I feel like it would have been double the fun. So, Ashley, you were missed.
Ah,
I
I'm
can't
so
wait. We've got to have you back. And actually, here's why we're going to have you back, Jocelyn, because I predict by your 18-month anniversary, you're going to have like more huge growth. So, I'm going to ask, will you come back?
absolutely, Deborah. I am so sad that Ash wasn't here. We are just the best combo, and you guys missed out. And I apologize that I couldn't deliver all of it. But we'd love to come back, and we'd love to chat more. We would appreciate that opportunity, Deborah.
Fantastic. So, where's the best place for listeners to kind of peek over your shoulder and connect with you?
Yeah, thank you. So we are heavily active on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is at the underscore lavender lavender_lifestyle. We also have a website, thelavenderlifestyle.com. Those really are the best two places to find us. Through our website, you can also find us on Facebook, but primarily that's where we're most active.
All right, listeners, if you are doing your workout, you're doing some interval training, sweating, or commuting, I got you covered. Those links will be in the show notes, and listen for it. It will be at fitnessmarketingmastery.com/lavender lifestyle. So don't miss it. And thank you again, Jocelyn. It was a pleasure to have you.
Oh, it was so wonderful, Deborah. Thank you so much.
Listeners, what are you waiting for? The world needs you now more than ever.